Hello there, good morning to you. We're reaching you live here from the capital city of Abuja in the Advent Cable Network Nigeria studio. Welcome to Now Streaming Sports. I am your anchor this morning, Chuku Ebuka Ike, and to discuss sports stories with me in the studio here, two wonderful guests. Mr. Raphael Ojaokumo and Mr. Nemeka Okejofo, who are both sports veterans and analysts, commentators also. And having us joining us today, all the way from Delta State, Comrade Ibrahim Soko. Comrade Ibrahim Soko, he's also a sports analyst. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the moment where we all desire to be free from all security issues or economic issues and have a little bit of fun.
Can we say we are totally free from all this wahala? Because every day you wake up you hear it, but I would just say, like Komresoko would say, the moment where we at least smile a bit, laugh and throw some banters around. At least we don't get to count bodies.
Yeah.
We don't count bodies. We don't count a number of deaths. When the headline will be telling you 5 today, 20 tomorrow, as if we're counting rice. But we're here to discuss sports and the good things that happen in the world of sports.
Yeah, a joke I saw just within the week says in Nigeria, where you have the poor masses who have probably not eaten for a couple of days and who doesn't have anything in his or her account, will come during sport and say, we bought that player.
Now then Komresoko be that. It's Komresoko them that speak the language. We bought that player for 100 million. The person will tell you we bought that player for 100 million. The next minute is asking you, have you seen 200?
Or you bought the player.
You will buy player for 100 million if I 200 other transport.
It's well with us. Corporate, are you excited to be part of this section this morning?
Very, very excited. As Mr. Raphael rightly said, this is the time that we don't count bodies. This is the time that we don't talk about political affiliations. Just like banters and talk about the world of sport. So it's my favorite segment of the show, to be honest.
All right, thank you and welcome. I have first-time guest, Mr. Ndemeka. Say a word to our viewers before we go into the discussions.
I'm happy to go into the banter with all of you. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for having me.
All right, you're welcome to the show this morning. Viewers, remember you can call in via the number showing on your screen, or equally send in your comment via various social media handle. And at this point, we encourage you viewers to also follow all of us on Instagram. The presenter is on EK_Ebuka Levi. Our guest is I _ I'm Rafiki, and we have Comrade Soko also on Instagram. Nemeka, are you on Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. Just Mexy27, MEXY27.
All right, and then our producer is equally on Instagram. God sent Akim official on Instagram. Please find time and follow all of us on our social media handles. All right, so before we begin the discussion for this morning's show, let's look at the front page of the Punch Sports Extra. The front page of the Punch Sports Extra says with the list story, Winners Cycle, and that's on page 6. It said 7 WAFCON champions headline Nigerians title charge in Morocco. All right, that's on page 6 of the Punch Sports Extra. Just above the masthead, we have Ndidi's €9 million clause sparks Everton's and United raise. That's on page 7. Page 2 has the story on boxing. Additional enters UFC Hall of Fame today. And page 2 also have the story on Ajunwa blames poor leadership for athletes Exodus. Page 6 has the story on the Golden Boy. It says Gala I Richarlison as Osimhen alternative. Alright, so if Osimhen leaves Galatasaray today, Richarlison will be his alternative. Page 4 has the story on Liverpool battle Arsenal for Goyekris, and page 3 has the story on Milan confirm Modric signing. Page 5, Torres, best player in Chelsea's history. Alright, then page 8 has a story on Ronaldo agrees new Nasser's contract. And page 7 has a story on Okoye fired up ahead of new season. Finally, on the Punch Sports Extra, we have the story on Oka excited for PFL Africa clash. All right, and we'll start this discussion this morning with looking on the from the athletics parts of our sports this morning. We want to ask. Should I ask Raphael or should I ask Comrade? And say, okay, let's start with Raphael. Raphael, do you wish to switch nationality?
I would answer you in camera. I would answer you. I'd answer you. But funny enough, the truth be told, I don't think the thought has ever crossed my mind, even up to now. Do you understand me? But people who do so, a lot of persons have the major reasons why they do what they do. But I don't think I've had any of those reasons to want to switch. They say there's no place like home. Yes, things may not be going well as it should, but you and I will agree again that there's no place like home. And I know you asked this question maybe in reference to Favour Ofili. Favour Ofili will not be the first Nigeria who would be switching nationality. We had Obieko, who ran for Portugal, switching from Nigeria. We had Gloria Loze, who switched to Spain. Now, and she did that. Like that's why I said people have reasons why they do what they do. She did that because in the Sydney 2000 Olympic, I stand to be corrected, she and her fiance was representing Nigeria at that Sydney Olympic or the 2004 Olympics thereabouts. And there was an accident, and the fiancé died, and the federation said nothing. And you know when they say you die in active duty, that was what happened to this guy. He happened when he went for the tournament, and they did nothing. This is a federation, a country I have gone to represent, and something happened to me, and then you are just blank. Do you understand me? And then she said no. And this lady, you know, was celebrating Toby Amuson today, but then there was a Gloria Loze before Toby Amuson. She was a hurdle sprint goddess for Nigeria and even internationally. And when she started representing Spain, she was doing very well too with the Spain team. And now we have Favour Ofili, and her reason is not far-fetched. You know, I was watching Favour Ofili on YouTube yesterday when she competed in her first ever sports games representing Delta State as 2017, and they asked her what she wants to do, how she intends to carry on her race and all. You could see a very young girl who was very enthusiastic. Like, she really wants to do this thing. I want to represent my country. She was very happy. I think then she just finished from secondary school thereabouts, because she said, I just finished from secondary school, I'll write JAM next year or something. And then she has somehow in 2 major tournaments, somebody claimed to have forgotten to register her. Now you want to ask yourself, bar Blessing Okagbare, who has been banned, who is the next best thing in 100 meters for Nigeria? Who is the next best thing in 200 meters for Nigeria? It's Favour Ofili. And then of all the reasons you can give not to register your best athletes for an international tournament, is that you forgot.
You forgot about her.
Is that you forgot. And you know the annoying part is this. The first time you forgot, nothing happened. Now somebody else has forgotten. The person is still in office. And then you come, and you know, funny enough, these guys were talking behind camera when we were saying, I don't know where you were reading that thing from, where you say, come to camp with your own training kits and what have you. The last Olympic that the Nigerian contingent went for, I think the last Olympic, or the Commonwealth Games that the Nigerian team went for, even the guy that was training shot put, there was a clip of him washing his kit. There was a clip of him washing his kit and so many other things that you should not even hear of, not even talk of seeing, would happen in the Nigerian camp, and these people will still be in office. And that's why I say this. After the last Olympic, every country go back to the drawing board to see what they've done wrong and correct it, and they start planning from the year that Olympic ended. Nigeria's case, no. we'll wait for like maybe 3 months to the Olympics, 4 months, and then we'll start saying we didn't get enough money.
Yeah.
You cannot have enough money when you didn't plan for it. Nobody will just dole out money for you to go and waste, all in the name of you want to go and represent the country, and then you come out empty. The last Olympic, we had no medal. None. All our hopes was on Toby Amuson, and it didn't work out. Ese Brume, it didn't work out. Favour Ofili was forgotten. So it's enough reason for somebody to say, let me go to a country where at least things work. You go to Ireland, you see a Nigerian, Rashidat, representing Ireland as one of their best sprinters there. You go to Britain, one of their best athletes, you find Nigerians there. You go to Spain, you go to America, everywhere. It's not that these people are not patriotic enough not to want to represent their countries, but do you even have the facilities for them to train? When last did you enter the Abuja National Stadium? When last were you in the stadium in Lagos? Is there any stadium? The lady that cried out that she had to borrow bicycle from the German contingent that she was given, and they all came out and were crying, no, it's not like that, that's not what happened. Okay, that's not what happened. What happened? So everybody have their reasons to want to switch, especially when this hardship now. Somebody joked and said if they brought the slave trade ship now and asked people
a lot of persons would
if they would enter the ship with chains, my dear, the rush. But we just pray that God doesn't take us to that point where we can no longer bear it anymore. But for Favour Ofili, I don't think it's done and dusted yet. I just pray someone can talk sense into her, and then the federation put their acts together. That's my problem.
Is there a need to talk sense into her? Are you trying to say that she's acting out of ignorance, or
no? She's not acting out of ignorance.
Yeah,
Sometimes
she has her mind made up already.
Now let me tell you where I have problem with people. Where I have problem with people. If you did something wrong to me, I should be able to call you out. Somebody is witch hunting that young lady. Somebody knows what they are doing, and till date she has not mentioned one name. John, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Somebody cannot just sit down and say they are forgetting you.
Or probably she's not aware of who the person is. She's just seeing the things unfold.
There is somebody responsible for registering athletes. Even if he is the one behind the problem, you are the one compiling the list. Even if he tells you don't add Raphael's name to the list, nobody is seeing him. It is you everybody is seeing. I should be able to say Ebuka refused to add my name. It's not my word against.
But I'm not the person that wrote the list.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my God!
It's Nemeka that wrote the list. So why are you not saying I refuse to add your name to the list?
Because you are the one that presented it to the world to see. Do you understand me?
All right.
I think at this point in time, even when they showed her in that Olympics, you could see her crying and saying, I'm tired. Now, sometimes you need to start saying, when you say they said, who is they? I don't know if you understand me.
I get your point.
Who is they? Do you understand me? Just get to the point where we start calling names so that everybody will know and see these people for who they are. That's what I'm saying. Not like I'm saying she's acting irrationally or acting out of place. She has her rights. I cannot get you angry and tell you how to react. It's not even possible. Do you understand me? But then we need to get to a point where people should genuinely resign when they do such things. People should be fired when they do such things, and people should be called out when they do such things.
All right, thank you so much, Raphael. Emeka, let me find out from you. Have you ever thought at any point in time that you want to switch? Maybe you want to change your nationality, maybe to Ghana, to Togo, or maybe outside the shores of the African continent, maybe to Canada or anywhere?
No, so as far as I know, I'm a very patriotic citizen. I want to see the good of my country, Nigeria.
Right.
So it has never crossed my mind to change nationality. But let me say this, has crossed my mind to leave. But to leave, not to switch, but to leave, to come back. That's when I leave, I get myself better prepared, because we do not have a lot of facilities that we need here to do certain things and be able to compete against the best in the world. And so just to leave, get myself better prepared, and then still come back to see how I make an impact and see how I can make my own small contribution in pushing the country forward. For Favour Ofili, it's a pity. As at this point, it's like she's one of the best we have in Nigeria, and this is how she's being treated. And so, for her to come to this point of saying this is now her new resolution, that means there are things that she had been going through, but because she's trying to avoid being called out or
calling out names.
Yeah, so she's avoiding calling out names so she won't get into problems with the people on top. But like Mr. Raphael said, we need to start calling people out. When you now call people out, then it now makes them sit up. Because the more you hide these people's names, the more they do what they do, and a lot of times they get away with it because it is Africa, it is Nigeria, and we don't usually chase all these things. Because by the time she now calls out name, these people now come out to defend themselves and start maligning her and say all manner of things. So it's not a good thing to hear that one of the best athletes is leaving, but you should also understand she has gone through a lot of things over time. Francis Obikwelu of Portugal, I see a little boy when I first saw him, I think at Athens 2004, and first of all, I saw a black guy running for Portugal. Like, what was a black guy running for Portugal? And I heard he was running for Nigeria. And what happened? He had injuries, and then they left him. They literally left him, and he can't take it again. This is his livelihood, and he's representing you like an ambassador. So if this is how you treat an ambassador for you, then you imagine how you treat the layman. And so for them to now say, okay, I want to switch, is because they've seen something good in the way they are being treated, or their welfare packages than is better than it's here. And if for any normal person, when you see a package that is better than what you are receiving at this point, you just have to take it.
The switch, that's a switch. It's like a job now. You're leaving one job.
One job to another job.
You're going to another job. The only reason why you're leaving, anybody can say what they want to say, but the only reason why you're leaving point A to point B is because point B
seems to be better.
It not seems to be better. It's better. That's why you're moving, because you cannot. Ofili cannot tell you that she's switching from Nigeria to, let me not mention another country, maybe from Nigeria to Iran, for example, or from Nigeria to or from Nigeria to I don't know, just any country that you think maybe Nigeria, even in our bad state, is doing better than. Do you understand me? But there was a lady too that ran in the last Olympic. I think she's from Kenya or thereabouts. But in the Olympics, she ran for Bahrain with a Kenyan name, and she beat all the Kenyans in the race. Yes, and if you see the way she celebrated, like her life depended on it. And then by the time the story came out, she was not even one of those that was favored, which happened also in the just concluded National Sports Festival, where we had some contingents
who were not registered
in their states. They were now put under an umbrella, and a lot of them won gold, silver, and bronze.
And their states did not win anything.
And their state did not get any medal. So who are those? Who are those compiling those lists? That's why it just shows you that a lot of people are not meant to be in offices that they occupy, because for them it's all about what they can get, not what the country seems to get out of this whole thing. You know, when you talked about Francis Obikwelu, when was the last time you saw a Nigerian in the 100-meter finals in any major tournament? Then Obikwelu was competing with these guys, Maurice Green and co. Yes, they might not win the race, but he was there with them. And then when he switched to Portugal, you will see him in the finals, but not as a Nigerian, but as a Portuguese athlete. Do you understand me? It doesn't make any sense. And a lot of the time, you also said something, I'd like to go out, become better, and come and add my quota. You find a lot of these athletes who are already doing good out there, representing other countries, but also come around to associate themselves with the country, let the country know that I'm still your own. No, but of course, because I get better package for them. We've seen Saka in Ibadan. We've seen Adeyemi of Dortmund also around. We see a lot of them come around. Anthony Joshua. Nigeria did not train Anthony Joshua. As a matter of fact, Anthony Joshua wanted to fight for Nigeria, but was not picked. And then when he got the opportunity of getting to UK, that was when he represented UK at the Commonwealth, and he won the medal. And from there, now when he now became a world champion, every Nigerian wants
Every
him.
year, exactly.
So practically, we can say Nigeria. We are. I will not say we are not follow. I want to say we're users. We only make reference to these people when we see them doing well, when other people have invested in them, and then we start trying to call them to come. And then when they come and they get injured, we remember that they are no longer our problem. They should go back to where they are going to. We'll now start looking for somebody else again. Most of these international players, even though I fought a lot of them, is because they could not get a chance to play for England, Belgium, Germany, Netherlands. That's why they're coming back home. Do you understand me? We need to do better.
All right, thank you, Raphael. Viewers, remember you can call in via the number showing on your screen, or equally sending in your comment via various social media handles also showing on your screen. But to you, Comrade Abraham Soko, let's now get your view. I wanted to come from this angle. All right, just before Raphael ended, he made the point about some of our players performing at the international level, and which the national team or national authorities are going out to seek their consent to switch over back to Nigeria. And we now have the case of Favour Ofili, who is already representing Nigeria, but is wishing or has shown interest or switching to another nationality. Let me fire from you. Are there factors that leads to this? I once heard the story of a coach, a Nigerian coach, I would not mention name, call for
even you. You see my problem? That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't want to mention names now. I once heard of a story of a Nigerian coach who camp got opened for players to come and prepare for a competition that is fast approaching. And when players came, very nice players came, and he said, if you don't drop something, I cannot pick you because I've made such a mistake before and I lost out of it. Now, before you leave my camp or I pick you from the camp, you must sign a contract or you must do so and so for me. So, comrade, let's find out your view in this regard.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Ebuka. There are various angles to look at this issue with Ofili. If I decide to look at it from all the angles, we are not going to leave here today. So I will try my best to just be brief and maybe look at it from one or two angles. Now, in all this saga, what has the Athletic Federation come out to say? Their statement on this saga is what I will term a very, very senseless and stupid statement. And I will tell you why. The president of the AFN, the Athletic Federation, has come out to say that they are not going to stop
Favour
from moving. They have tried to reach out to her. That she's a difficult athlete to deal with. And personally, I feel that that's a very, very stupid statement. Because the reason why I feel that it's a very stupid statement is because obviously this lady is still very, very angry from the way she was treated in the last tournament, the Paris Olympic tournament, and they are coming out to see such a team. Now, to see they are not ready for reconciliation. In football, you have players that are superstars. They are managed in a different way. That's just the truth. It shows that the Athletic Federation lacks good man management, because sometimes you have to do everything to make your athletes happy. You have to go out of your way. They are saying that you try to reach out. How did you try? Now you are saying that the athlete is difficult to deal with. In what way? You have to be specific. As you rightly said, is it that some of your officials are not going to go out and accuse the president directly? Is it that some of your officials are asking her for bribe, or some of your officials are trying to sleep with her because she's a female? You may not go specific. So I think that the Athletic Federation, they have to do way, 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 way better. On the other hand, I think that some of our athletes, they also need to show a little bit of patriotism. There's somebody that has really endeared me to him recently, and this Chelsea's player, Tosin, he has come out to say that he's open to playing for Super Eagles.
Is it because he didn't get? Is it because he didn't get?
Obviously.
Comrade, is it because he didn't get any other national team to
England to be precise?
He couldn't win a shirt for England.
I do not agree with that. There are people that they are not even getting the call up for the English national team. They are not getting any other call up, but they have ruled out playing for the Super Eagles. So I don't think that is the case with him. He's saying that he's open to it, he's in love with it. At least it's something. It's an idea that is acceptable to him. There are people that they don't even entertain. Look at Dele Ali, for instance. They don't even entertain the thought of wanting to play for the Super Eagles at any point in time. So I believe that in all we do, we have to have that atom, even if it's very little, that very little atom of patriotism. As the question you posed to Mr. Raphael about me wanting to switch allegiance, I don't think if people give me money, I'm going to switch my allegiance, because I believe that God put me in Nigeria for a reason, and I believe that He has a divine plan for me. So I'm not going to try to uproot myself because we are facing challenges in the country. So people have different ways, different perspectives of looking at these things. So I would say that the statement coming from the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, it's really, really disappointing, and it has showed that this is a body that is, let me just say, useless. I beg. Thank you.
we're not totally useless. It's just that we have some factors that are hindering us from making the right decision. All right. So viewers, remember to call in via the number shown on your screen right away, or send in your comment via various social media handle also showing on your screen. So let's move away a little bit from the world of athletes and go into the world of soccer. And I want to start with Nemeka and say I want to get your review. The Super Falcon played against the Portuguese women in a friendly match just a couple of days ago, I think 2-3 days ago. And I want to have your review on that football game against the Super Falcons.
Okay, I want to say that that match was a good test for them. Even though to some extent I don't think it's necessary, because you're going for a Nations Cup tournament in Africa against African teams, and then you're playing an European team before you come and play that tournament in Africa.
Don't you think it's just like you said a couple of moments ago, if you are going to leave the shores of Nigeria, is to increase your knowledge, your ability, and then come back? Don't you think they want to learn from the style of play of the Portuguese women team?
Okay, so in each continent, there's Europe, there's Africa, we already have our own unique tactics and way of playing. So even if you go there and play, yes, it's a good test, because Portugal is a good team in women football. Okay, you now play them, you learn their tactics and their style. How are you going to now implement it here? Because if you are going to play tournaments, you need to play teams. So first of all, you need to scout the teams you are going to play. Then look for teams that have that kind of style, so that when you play them, you know how to adapt yourself to their own style of play and defeat them. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I actually like that they played the game, and I tried to watch it, but I didn't have the chance. But later saw the highlights, and I think they actually did well. For one, Nigeria is looking to regain their crown as African queens, and that match was good for them. So at least it gives them more match stamina. It helps them get prepared, and because they came out with that good result 0-0, which is actually a very good result. They didn't concede, but they couldn't just put the ball back in there. But at least a draw against an European superpower is a very good result, which I would say spells good omens for the Super Falcons.
But the Portuguese women, they are not the current world champions.
Yes,
So why did you not say the super world power?
Okay, so normally Portugal at this point, maybe mainly because of the male team, but you can call them not necessarily. Okay, you can actually call them superpower, because Portugal won the Nations League against Spain.
No, that's the male category. That's the male category. But where we have the likes of USA and what have you.
But the Portuguese team, I feel that they are coming up in the world of female football. And if you notice in the last few years, that gap between the big players and the, not necessarily the big players in the sense, the big countries, the so-called big countries and the little countries, is now diminishing. If you watch the last female World Cup, you could see the two teams coming out to stand up and say, okay, we are now here, we are now on the table, we need to get our own share of the pie. And so, yes, the Portuguese women, they are a very good squad. And for us coming out to that draw is a good one for the Super Falcons.
All right, thank you. So, Rafa, let me get your view and find out. The African Women Cup of Nations is fast approaching, and the Super Falcons has gone to Lisbon to play against the Portuguese women team. Do you think this gives them a more learning ground or prep towards the Women's African Cup of Nations, which is expected to run from the 5th of July to the 26th of July?
Like he was saying that he doesn't know why, and they've decided to play Portugal. But I just think it's just to sharpen them. Don't forget that they had played Cameroon, and defeated Cameroon. That was a friendly match geared towards this tournament. And I think today, or within the course of this week, they'll be playing the Ghana female team also. And before they played Cameroon, they had played Algeria in a two-legged friendly game, and they defeated Algeria also. So I think it's a call in the right direction. Maybe just trying out some of this European team, because of teams like Morocco. We have a Tunisian team in our group, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we have.
We have a Tunisian team in our group. So I think maybe that's why they are trying the Portuguese angle, also playing Cameroon, playing Ghana. And if you also check on the FIFA current ranking, the Portuguese team, they are 22nd in the world. They are 22nd, and Nigeria is far away in 36. So you can also call them one of the top teams in the world.
Top 30 team.
And Nigeria, I think this is the third time we are playing this Portuguese team. I stand to be corrected. And they're also a good side. Even though going to this game against Nigeria, they had lost their last 4 matches before playing the Super Falcons, and the Super Falcons has won theirs going into this game. It was a good game. The girls showed themselves. One person that I picked out in that game was Francesca Odega. She seemed to be somebody that everyone said she's finished, we no longer need her in the squad again. But she was the one that was pulling the strings in that game. Gave Onumono the clearest of chances to score from. Because I watched the game, I followed it on YouTube. Gave Onumono the clearest of chances to score from, and nothing to write home about. Positives in the game again was our goalkeeper. What's her name again? Nadozie. She was superb. She made some very, very spectacular saves. If not, maybe that game would have been up to 5 or thereabouts before the Super Falcons picked up themselves to want to play some good football. They did well, and they were ably led by Ajibade, who also played very well. So I believe that they call this tournament that is coming Project X. Now Project X is X in the Roman numeral is 10. They are going for their 10th title, because Nigeria has 9, so they are going for the 10th one. And I want to believe that with the preparation on ground, it will go well, as so many of their players are on camp already.
All right. Thank you, Raphael. Let's get Comrade Abraham Soko's view. Comrade, the 2025 Women African Cup of Nations is expected to run from July 5th to 26th of July, and we've been grouped into Group B with the likes of Algeria, Botswana, and Tunisia. In preparation for this competition, we have seen our Super Falcons engage in several friendlies, which amongst is just the last one they played against the Portuguese women's team. Let's get your view. What form of preparedness do you think we have in our Super Falcons camp?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka. I would want to say that I think that I agreed with the points that our co-anchor was talking about, that you should actually play friendlies that are in line with the tournament you are going to play. So there was probably no need playing the European side at this point in time. So I had to do a little more research, and Mr. Rafael also stated it that we are already played Cameroon, and I think we're going to play Ghana in the next few days. And I think these preparations are more in line with the kind of tournament we are playing, because we need to really take the geography, the continent into focus. And one thing I've noticed about African football in recent times is that the Super Falcons are no longer the domineering team anymore. We used to dominate this tournament. It's like a walkover for us, and this shows, as Mr. Raphael also said, this shows in the number of tournaments that the Super Falcons have won, a whooping 9 titles. So what I would want to say is that these other teams that are actually coming up, the last WAFCON was won by South Africa, and I think Morocco was the runner-up. So I believe that these other African countries are beginning to actually improve and are beginning to actually rub shoulders with us. So there's need for us to take these tournaments more seriously. So I believe that we are going to actually do more. I don't want to go into the friendly in particular because Mr. Raphael has already said that our goalkeeper was spectacular. Odiga performed very, very well. Also, I think there was a rift, I think, for a period of a year. Our star player, Ashola, was not actually called on for that period. I believe that they have been able to solve that rift, and she's available for this tournament and for these friendly games. So that's a good one. That's a plus, unlike our AFN that we previously spoke about. So this is a federation that is actually reaching out. So it's a good one. I wish them the best of luck, and we are going to be actively monitoring and watching their games. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibuka.
All right, thank you, viewers. At this point, we'll go. We'll leave the shows of local news. That's in regards to Nigerian news. Go away, far away to Europe, and the current under 21 Europe Nations League final is fast approaching. In a couple of days now, we'll have the final game match. Let me give you a rundown that from the quarterfinals we had matches against the teams that qualified from the group stage play. In the quarterfinals, we had Portugal against Netherlands, and Netherlands won against the Portuguese team, and the Spanish played against the English team, the England, and the England won, defeated. And straight up, the Denmark played against France, and France defeated Denmark. Germany against Italy, and Germany defeated Italy 3 goes to 2. The semi-finals, we had the semi-finals where England defeated Spain, and now we have the finals. I want to get your predictions or your reviews from reviews from my guest here in the studio in a very brief time. Let's hear your review, Raphael, for the under 21 Europe competition holding in Slovakia.
These two teams that are about to play are two powerhouses, and if you check very well, a lot of them, a lot of them have the opportunity of playing top football. If you check the English team, you're seeing Kwanzaa of Liverpool, Nwaneri of Arsenal, Makati of Manchester City, and a few of them. There's this guy that plays for Brighton, has a very funny name, I can't remember it. Now, you have these guys playing top football in the English league, and you also have the German guys playing top football too in the German league. So it's like you're seeing big players in small bodies about to play finals, like watching the actual Germany playing against England. I know the rivalry between England and Germany is not today, since the World Cup final in 1966, that the German felt that the English team did them what we call in our local parlance Ojoro, and the same thing happened again in 2006 World Cup. So I think it's going to be an explosive final, a final of talent, a final of greats. Or I don't know, I'm always tilting towards England, even though I don't like that country. I'm always tilting towards them because except for the age grade competitions, they rarely win anything. And I know they've won the World Cup. People like Lukman was one of their in the team when they won the World Cup. I think it was under 20 thereabouts. And we also had some Nigerians playing under 17 when they also won the World Cup same year. I'm just tilting towards England, but I have small fear for the German team because the way they dismantled France, the way they dismantled, football is not 1+1. So I would say England 2-1.
All right. So, Nemeka, let's get your view. Do you think the same way the German side defeated the French side 3-0, do you think they will put up a battle, a fight against the English team in the final?
I actually believe they are going to do that because the German side beating a French side 3-0 in the semi-final, that deep into the competition, it shows the fight that the Germans have and the spice that is going to add more to, or the thing that's going to add more spice to this final is Germany, England. They always have this rivalry and it's going to be an intense match. I was trying to watch the Club World Cup match with Mamelodi Sundowns and Fluminense yesterday, and then somehow I stumbled on the Germany-France match and I saw 2-0. I'm like, oh. And then I left, and by the time I saw the final result, I saw 3-0. I was like, wow. Normally, I would have tilted to the English side, but that's actually a huge result in that stage of the competition, the semi-final. It shows that they're ready to kill anybody and dismantle anybody. So I think with that result alone, I'm going to go for Germany.
All right, thank you, Nemeka. Comrade Abraham Soko, the under 21 Europe Nations Cup is at the final level right now, and we have the final England against Germans on the 21 team. So let's have your prediction and your review on the game.
Okay, so I want to start by saying that if you look at this under 21 team, this tournament, you will not even notice that you're actually watching an age grade soccer game, because most of these players, some of them are already playing top flight football in their various clubs. For instance, if you look at the English side, you see the likes of Harvey Elliott, Livramento, Kwanse, McCarthy are already playing. And even if you go to the German team, you see the likes of players already playing top flight football in Stuttgart, in Mainz, or in other top flight German teams in the Bundesliga. So it's actually a really, really good watch. For this, I'm going to give this game to the German team, because I believe that they have more zeal. The way they dismantled France, they have that confidence. And in the last couple of years, I believe that the English have been the one winning this tournament. I think they won the last edition of this tournament. So that overconfidence might do them ill in this game. So I believe that the Germans want it more, and they are going to win this particular game by maybe 2-0. Thank you.
All right. It looks like we have two teams, two sides of two sides of our guests here now.
Did you notice that in the German team they have 2 Nigerians? The goalkeeper is the one that the NFF have been trying to pull to come to the Nigerian team. Noah Atobolu is their goalkeeper, and then you have at their right wing defense Nnamdi Collins. So this is what I said about having young players playing their trade in other countries. Maybe that's their country of birth, or the parents went there and these children or these lads started playing for this country. That's how we got someone like a Jamal Musiala, who is playing for Germany today. Imagine what that guy would have been doing for Nigeria. Imagine what Olise in France would have been doing for Nigeria, and a whole lot of them. But right now we are seeing 2 Nigerian players representing the German team, and a Nigerian, Nwaneri, representing the English team. So it's like, I think the two of them have chosen Germany because of the way they leaked France. But one thing I've always believed over time, that sometimes the semi-final doesn't determine what the final looks like. Mm-hmm. The final, it's winner takes all. So everybody,
like with the likes of Inter Milan against Barcelona,
beautiful
at the semi-final.
After scoring all the wonderful goals, people thought that final would be explosive. They would die for that field. We just started saying warm. Like we couldn't believe what was happening. So, but it's their peak anyways. But like Comrade Soko said, these players are already playing top flight football. So it's like you're watching a top game. If you even check the French team too, Odegaard, he plays for Tottenham Hotspur. Tels, I think Mathis Tels plays for Bayern Munich, if I'm not mistaken. So they're already playing top flight football at this level, and it will not be difficult for them to just slide into their national team because they're there already.
All right, thank you so much, our guest here in the studio, Comrade Abraham Soko, virtually. Before we call it a date for today, I'd like us to take a look at the Club World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, which is currently ongoing in the United States, and all our African contingents have lost out from the group stage, but all the clubs from the South American team, that's the Brazilian team, have all moved on to the round of 16. So let's get your quick review, Comrade Abraham Soko. I'm excited for you that your club is in the round of 16. Chelsea has moved on and is going to play
without Jackson.
Without Jackson. Jackson is going to lose out. Is going to miss out in 2 matches. Red card he got from the last match. So let's get your review of the Club World Cup and your prediction for a few of the matches.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka. First off, I would say that I'm not excited for my team. I'm excited for the tournament, but I'm not excited for my team because I watched that game against Flamengo, and I must say that it's a disappointment. I don't know what Enzo Maresca keeps saying in that particular player, Jackson. He has proven time and again that he's not consistent. It's not enough for you to even get the numbers. If you have a player that you cannot depend on, that's not a football player. He came into the game against Flamengo. He did not stay in the pitch and your team was already down 2-1. You did not stay in the pitch for 10 minutes. You already committed a very silly foul and got a red card. So I don't think that this is a player that you can depend on going forward. So I believe that it should be sold, or it should be made to learn from other players that are professionals and are willing to put in the work and be disciplined and carry the team going forward. I'm not saying this just based on this. If you look at the Premier League in the latter stages, he also committed a silly foul like this against Newcastle. And got a silly red card. So I think we actually also lost that particular game. So I believe that personally, I've been fed up with Jackson for a very, very long time right now. And I'm glad that we were able to get Dilap as a replacement. I hope that the coach should put more faith in Dilap. Overall, as I said in our last show, I believe that the World Club Cup is a reflection of the status. Will I say status, or the status, the improvements in your own national league or your own continental league? I would say that because if you look at the likes of New Zealand, which did not even have the league, you will also have their team performed. Auckland, where they were whooped 10-0. I believe that they improved marginally, but they fell off. But if you look at the teams performing very well now, the South Americans, all their 4 teams have qualified. I believe that in Europe, Atletico Madrid was also a high-profile team that was knocked out. Africa, of course, all our teams fell off. Ali, Esperance, Tunis, and Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa. They were the ones that I was actually putting my hope on. I watched their game yesterday. It was actually boring. and they could not get a win in that particular match. But I think that they were the most improved African team and the most exciting. So overall, the tournament is a good one. There have been shockers. We saw how the Botafogo of Brazil won our indomitable PSG. So that was one of the shockers of this round of games in the Club World Cup tournament. So on the fixtures, I think the one I've seen is Palmeiras against Botafogo. I think that's an all Brazilian, and I see Botafogo winning that particular fixture. Benfica against Chelsea. I don't actually see Chelsea winning this particular game, but I'm going to actually sit my my heart with Chelsea as a virtue of being a fan of the club. But on performance, on recent form, I don't see Chelsea winning that particular game. Lastly, I would want to Flamengo against Bayern Munich. I think this is a fixture where we are going to see if the Brazilian teams are really as good as has been previously advertised in this tournament, because this is like a baptism of fire. If Flamengo can actually win Bayern Munich, I'll actually believe that the Brazilian side will win this tournament. But I don't see that happening. So all fingers crossed. It has been a very exciting tournament so far. So we look forward to seeing more games and more exciting fixtures in the World Club Cup. Thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka.
All right, thank you, Comrade Abraham Soko. Let's quickly round up here. Time is fast against us. Raphael, what is your review currently on the round of 16 matches?
It's been a beautiful game of sports. You know, when the game was going on, I was watching Mamelodi Sundowns play Fluminense, and one thing that came to my mind, I was like, what if it was a Nigerian team that qualified for this tournament? the way they collect for this tournament, because the standard with which the tournament was being played, you could see even Auckland City that received that walloping from Bayern Munich. Football is like their side hustle. Those guys have their normal jobs that they do. It's during their free time they come to train, and then they played against a team. And over the games, they lost the first game 10-0, 6-0, and then the last one they drew 1-1, which means they improved over time. Do you understand me? But we keep saying all the South American teams has qualified. No, it's not true. Only the Brazilian teams qualified, and one team from Mexico. We have Botafogo, we have Palmeiras, we have Flamengo, and then we have Fluminense. Then we have Monterrey. Monterrey is from Mexico. But the other South American teams that didn't make it, we have Pachuca, we have Boca Juniors and River Plate of Argentina. So, yeah, it's just a period where you separated the boys from the men. And we have one team from the North America which qualified, which is Inter Miami. Messi's team. You have Los Angeles FC out. We have Seattle Sounders out. The teams from South Asia, Africa
all out.
So we're still hoping that Al Hilal will make it, because they have a game in hand to play while Man City plays against Juventus. It's been a beautiful tournament, but at the end of the day, is who carries the day. And you can't just look at this. You know, when Chelsea played against Flamengo, everybody said, I've forgotten what ended the game. I think they defeated Chelsea. Yeah. If you check, the coach of Flamengo was a former Chelsea player. And if you check the team that played against Chelsea, more than half of them came from Europe. Yes, they are Brazilians. If you check that squad, you will see a Jorginho inside that team. You see... Yes, he was a former Chelsea player too. And I think I saw like 4 or 5 other players who had played in Europe and just decided to go back home and ply their trade. So it's like a European team in a Brazilian skin playing against a European team. And of course, you know how well they would do. But all in all, it's been a very good tournament and everyone has had to show themselves. But again, you're playing a tournament in a country who doesn't hold football. In fact, they don't call it football, they call it soccer. Do you understand me? And sometimes you find the pitch almost half, the stadium almost half empty. Just recently, it started coming to maybe as the competition goes further, people will start turning up. And one thing they do that I don't like is how they introduce player one by one. Like you come, this is Ebuka, this, hey, this person will call it. Who has that time in Europe? Just everybody come outside.
Just file out and let us go.
And there are some of improvement that I've seen in this tournament also. You will notice that the referees are wearing cameras. At the point I was saying, why is this camera so close to this guy? How did they get the camera so close to the player? The referees are wearing cameras, and then when some decisions are taken, you could hear the referee speak over the speaker about some decisions, and everybody knows what the referee is doing at every point. I think is a pointer for one, technology, how well to use technology to better the game, and then those cameras now show close images of these players in case they are saying something insulting the referee or what have you. They can be picked. Those cameras have microphones that picks all these things. So I think it's a beautiful one.
All right, thank you. So finally, let's get your view, Nemeka. What's the general overview of the FIFA Club World Cup? Do you think there's a speculation that USA is going to host the next edition again? What do you think about the hosting? Rafael has said something about the referees and the what he observed from the tournament. What do you observe?
Okay, you said there's a speculation that US is going to host the World Cup. It's not a speculation. It's stamped. So it's going to be, for the first time, it's going to be three teams.
Three nations.
Thank you. 3 nations. US, Mexico, Canada. The last time this kind of happened was 2002. Korea, Japan. And like he said, US is a country that doesn't really look at football. What they look at is American football. That is their number one, and then athletics. So soccer is not really a team. But one of the reasons why I believe that they moved this Club World Cup there is to have that awareness for the game, and so they could get that support as against the World Cup next year. But overall, the standard of play and the standard of the tournament has been a very good one. They can only improve from here, and I hope that they will also always improve. By the time they go further into the tournament, they'll be able to tweak a lot of things and then make it in shape, and then it now gives them something to work on against the World Cup next year, which is supposed to be a higher tournament.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. We've had a lot this morning to talk about, but because of time, we'll break out from this section at this point and return again at the next edition. So I want to sincerely appreciate my guest all the way from Delta State, Comrade Abraham Soko, for finding time to join us on the show this morning. I also want to thank my guest here in the studio, Mr. Rafael Ojo. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me
of the show, and our first timer. It's been wonderful with you here on the show, Mr. Nemeka, who is also a sports analyst, sports commentator and sports analyst. Thank you for being here on the show. I look forward to having you often, as much as possible. And viewers, thank you for gracing us with your time this morning, all throughout the section when we started up to the sports edition and now. And we will say, may God bless you and keep you and guide you until we come your way again next time. Bye bye.